Prazer. Meu nome é Antônio Claraval.
Antônio?
Garotinho, não. Meu nome é Anthony Claraval. Ok. Mais um.
Mais um.
Eu sou... Fuck. Assistindo Black Media. How do you say? Em português. Ok. I got you. Okay. Eu sou Anthony Claraval. Assistindo Black Media. O melhor site de internet de skate todo mundo. Verdade. Tá tirando. I don't know. I hope something works. No. Actually, so I'm Filipino. My family is from the Philippines. My mom and my dad. But my mom and my dad and my three older sisters, they came to the States. They came to New York maybe 2 weeks before I was born. So I was born in New York, 100% Filipino, and grew up in New York and actually kind of all around the world. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So basically, when I was a kid, my dad worked for Pepsi, and we moved around a lot. We lived in a lot of different places. United Kingdom, we lived in Malaysia, lived in Mexico, and so I traveled a lot as a kid. When I was in college, a friend of mine and I, we wanted to kind of do something in skateboarding. It was always my dream to work in a magazine like Thrasher or something. So basically, we did a zine. We did a little skateboard zine, and it was the focus was skating and hardcore music. And from there, I started. I didn't have a camera. I didn't really know how to shoot photos. So in a nutshell, basically, I would film my friends, film tricks, and we'd make video grab sequences for my zine. And then I would have all this footage, and I ended up sending it to 4-in-1 at the time. 4-in-1 had just started, so I had all this footage. I had a friend who had who knew those guys, so I just sent them unsolicited footage, and they were super cool. They were like, this is really cool. This is not. They kind of gave me some pointers. Started sending more and more stuff in. Started getting some tricks in, and then I guess the rest is kind of history. So. Just started contributing, living in New York, and then started traveling a lot for 4-in-1, going to California, and then after that really started traveling around the world.
We got a lot of young viewers, so can you tell them a little bit about the importance of 4-in-1?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, right now, you have the internet, right? So, I mean, right now, if you're watching this, you're a kid skating, you probably never had a VHS tape, you maybe never had a DVD. You don't read magazines, you see everything online, you see it on the internet, you see it on Instagram, you see people's parts, you don't see a full video. But back when I started skating 500 years ago, basically there was nothing. So when I started skating, it was just magazines. So it's kind of crazy. You'd see a magazine and you wouldn't really know, it would just be a photo. I grew up in New York, we skated street. We only skated street. I never skated transition, never skated ramps or anything. So you'd see when I opened a magazine for the first time as a kid, I'd see somebody in the air skating a vert ramp. I didn't know how he got in the air. You know what I mean? I didn't know, it was just wow, how does somebody get up there? You know what I mean? We were skating curbs and ledges. Not even ledges, we were skating curbs. And so, then, skateboard videos came out, around when I was a young kid, and then they were it was a revelation, basically. This is you could see how people skated, you know what I mean? And then, videos went from once every year or every 2 years. It was a big thing. A video would come out and you'd watch it 1,000 times every day, the same video. Just, that's how you learned tricks. That's how you saw the outside world. And then progression came faster. Videos came, sooner. When I first started skating, everything was on film. It was on cine. So it was a big production. Only big companies could make a video. Santa Cruz, Powell Peralta, those they made videos. Then there was the VHS camera came, and then it was open. Companies like H Street started making videos, and it was another revelation, another revolution, basically. This was you could just film, and you could film harder tricks because you could film easier, you could film more, batteries lasted longer. It was a tape and it wasn't film. So there was that, and then that was really when I started skating. That was my era. And then 4-in-1 came, and basically 4-in-1 was a video magazine, and that was another revolution where it was this is a video that wasn't based on one company with just the riders from this company. It was a video with contributions from around the world, from every company, some riders, AMs, unknown kids, and big pros all together. And it was $9, and you got it, and it came out every 2 months, and it was always new, and it was like another revolution, another thing. So that's where I started working in skateboarding. Basically, like when I was a kid, like I kind of wanted to work for Thrasher, or that was like my dream, like Thrasher, right? Like that was my window to skateboarding. You know what I mean? And then obviously Transworld too. So it was two sides. So Thrasher was kind of gritty, Transworld was like glossy. That was the only thing there was. And then when 4-in-1 started, it was like I said, like it was a way to see how skateboarding was really done and not just a photo. Like it was, there's two sides. Obviously, I love photography. I love skateboard photos, but you don't see how the trick was done or what kind of style, or really like, you only see one side of the picture. With video, you start to see something else. And then for me, I had no training. I didn't know what I was doing. For me, video and 4-in-1 was super easy because it was just pointing the camera. Your question is like what the importance of 4-in-1 was.
Yeah.
It was basically a revolution, and it brought in what we see now. I mean, for the barracks, the format from the barracks is what 4-in-1 was. What you see on Instagram and the importance of live video and like live tricks, that was what 4-in-1 was, Hard to explain.
Did internet kill the 4-in-1 video magazine or the video magazine format?
You know what? I mean, maybe the internet did in a little bit, but I think just technology on top of that. I think basically, we were making a VHS tape, so everyone would buy this VHS tape, and then it was easy to copy it also too. So once you had it, you could copy it, and then we were on DVD because that was technology, and even easier once it's on DVD to copy it. So, it was that even before the internet, I think, I mean? I don't think it was even, I think 4-in-1 was already not a viable business model before the internet even came, you know what I mean? It's like, I remember coming to Brazil and everyone knew 4-in-1. Every skater knew 4-in-1, but nobody bought one, you know what I mean? So we had a distribution, I think Maze was our distributor in Sao Paulo, right? And it's awesome, but there's no way you don't send a plastic tape from California to Brazil. Okay, you send a master and you duplicate it, but if you can duplicate it, then you can duplicate it again. And so it's like, it went from a commodity to, I don't know, like something you couldn't really sell even before there was the internet, as we know it.
Back at the time when you were doing the 4-in-1 video magazine, have you ever thought that skateboarding would get this big?
No, man, it's fucking crazy, dude. Like, I remember, I don't know, maybe being like 20, you know what I mean? Like 21, like being young and like just seeing stuff in magazines and seeing tricks that people did. Like, there was this guy named Ron Carnegie, and he was from New Jersey. He was like a super tech skater, skated for New Deal, and he did like some crazy shit. And he had a video grab sequence once off of a curb. He did like a 540 flip. So it's like, like a big spin, like, bigger spin flip, I guess, off a curb, a video grab sequence. And that was like insane. Like, whoa, the board flipped so many times and turned so many times. And then, I remember going around and like seeing spots, like, let's say in New York, seeing like walking by a rail and just being like, wow, I wonder if someday somebody would skate that. And then now it's like, yeah, people like would skate that as a warm up and not even, it's not even something to film. I grew up skating the Brooklyn Banks. And I would take the train, get off the train. I would go through One Police Plaza, like the police headquarters in New York. Go by One Police Plaza and go down to the banks pretty much every day. That was my routine. And as I went there, there was a rail against the wall. It's a gnarly rail, and at the time, square rail, perfect against the wall. And I remember like, damn, like I wonder if anyone would ever skate this. And then actually a friend of mine, Gio Moya, he did a nose slide on it, and it was like insane. Like Moya fucking nose slid this rail. It was fucking crazy. I'm sure it's the same thing for you guys. Like you grew up, there's like, maybe you've been to Vale for 20 years, but you never thought certain things would happen. And now it's like, it's not in a magazine, it's not in a video, it's just on Instagram. You just see it and you see like, holy shit, this is fucking crazy. So yeah, I never thought skateboarding would get to this level like this. It's pretty rad though.
So do you think 4-in-1 could work as a YouTube channel nowadays?
No.
Or another format?
If you're saying could 4-in-1 live on YouTube, I'd say no, because the music clearance issue. But that format, yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? I look at it as like you know, like skateboarding just had a few outlets. So it was print magazines first, then videos, then things like 4-in-1, and now the internet, and now it's just wide open. There's not one place for kids to get their skateboarding. So then the question is, can you monetize it? Can you make money off of it? Not to make money, but just to make it happen. Because to do something quality, you need investment, you need money to make something. You know what I mean? So without that money, you're limited. You know what I mean? We all know, I mean, you guys can make a fucking diamond out of nothing. You know what I mean? So, but to really make something really good, you need some money. And that's the problem, you know?
Do you think that the full videos with all the parts and stuff are still worth doing it?
Yeah, just about money.
Yeah.
So is it worth doing a full length video? Sure, it's worth it. It just depends on if you can invest in it. Me personally, I don't really know if it's something that I would want to do or what I'd want to pursue. Like a video with 7 parts, you know, take 5 years to film. Everyone has a 5-minute part. I don't know if there's a. I don't know if you could really do that, man. You know, like I've seen it. People do it. Ty made the Flat Earth. He put it all on his credit cards. You know, that's a fucking gamble. Ty is the biggest name in skateboard videography, right? He is the top dude, and he made a video, and he put his own money and he put his life on the line for that, to make a video, and that to me is obviously that's the ultimate you can do. You put your money where your mouth is. Yeah, I think it's difficult. I don't really see full-length videos being that common. Yeah.
Blooming black flower.
I mean, Mike Ternasky for sure. I mean, obviously Stacy Peralta, you know, making Powell videos is amazing, is great as a kid. Santa Cruz videos, but yeah, Mike Ternasky and H2 videos, and definitely like Plan B videos. Dan Wolf, somebody from the East Coast, mastered the fisheye, presented skateboarding in a way that was like super raw and like super East Coast. And Fred, you know, French Fred, somebody who I saw as a contemporary, you know, we kind of came at the same time. He's been an inspiration to me, but to personally where I could be like, hey, I could do this, or I want to do that. You know what I mean? Greg Hunt, I love what he's done. Dan McGee, Blueprint Videos. I mean, yeah, I'm a big fan, you know, of skateboard videos.
I read it somewhere that you started filming, kind of like at the same time with Preston Pistone.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So I mean that's another one. Like, you know, like I met Preston in Boston. He was going to school in Boston. He's from New Jersey. I went to Boston and I met up with a bunch of my homies. We all skated together, and one of my homies, his cousin lived in New Jersey on the same street as Preston. So I met Preston like, it was probably like 1992 or 1991, and we were just skaters. You know, like I had not picked up a video camera. Preston hadn't either. We were just skaters, just skating around. He was an animal, dude. He was fucking amazing skater. Like, I can't even tell you, dude, skated with so much power. He had like the biggest ollie. That was his shit, dude. And you know, years later, he started filming. I started filming. You know what I mean? And it was great. We really came up together. And yeah, it's a tragedy, but the dude was like such a fucking amazing human being, and he left a mark. As you can tell, Preston left a mark on skateboarding. Everyone who knew him, everyone who filmed with him. It wasn't even about filming, dude. To be honest, it wasn't even about filming, dude. Like, I started filming, and Preston did too, not to be like, oh, I want to be a videographer and have a vision, I want to present this to the world. It's like, I want to be around skateboarding, I want to travel, I want to document it, I want to live it first, I want to see it, and then I'm going to see it and share it, but I really want to see it. I want to be there. You know, Preston was as good or better a skater than most of the fucking people he filmed. I don't know if you know that. He could have done 90% of the stuff that he filmed, you know? So it was just like to be around skateboarding, to be a part of it. That was why we started filming and stuff. But I mean, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a videographer or wanting to have that, you know what I mean? But to be honest, like, yeah, like it wasn't, we just wanted to be around skateboarding. We just wanted to still be a part of it. If I'm gonna work a job, I want to work a job in skateboarding. The first Brazilian skater was probably somebody in a contest, to be honest. Like somebody at a Europe contest. You know what I mean? Like the first time I went was 1998 to Europe, and it was maybe somebody there. I can't even remember, man. Maybe who was there? Maybe Piolio, Ferrugem. I don't know. At a contest, you know. But the first skaters that I'm like really met, the first time I went, I met Mancha, TX, a bunch of skaters in '99 in the Europe contest. That's when I first met TX, and then I came to São Paulo in December of '99 for the first time in Brazil. And then that's when I really met Brazilian skaters. And then that would be TX. Before that, Bob. You know, for sure Bob because of the firm and the contest. So that was it. So probably the first Brazilian skater I really knew and met, who I could talk to, was Bob. And then after Bob would be like TX. TX is like, he's kind of like my little brother. You know, we just met and we clicked. He didn't really speak English. You know, it's funny, I came to Brazil. It was like me and Joe Brook, Javier Sarmiento, the three of us. Javi speaks Spanish, so he could understand Portuguese. It was immediate. He clicked with TX immediately, you know what I mean? Joe is like super gringo. You know, like he's been to Brazil, been to Spain a million times, can't speak any Portuguese, can't speak any Spanish, right? He's super gringo. But for some reason, even though I couldn't speak Portuguese, I could understand TX. We could communicate, you know? And I mean, it's just like, you know, when you film with somebody, you know, if you click and you film with somebody, you spend a lot of time with them. You gotta know, like, fuck, what trick they can do. Are they really close? Should we kind of chill? Like, you know, like, should we push it? Like, let's fucking get this. Or like, is it like, hey, it's better, like, let's relax, let's come back to this later. You know, you have to have that rapport. And so I had that with TX, and you know, he'd be coming to the States and we'd be traveling a lot, and we'd be in a lot of new experiences too. Like for me, going to California was pretty new. For him, it was super new. And then going to Europe and coming to Brazil, and you know, we got to share a lot of stuff, dude. And like, I mean, I'm from New York, I love hip hop, and he was super into it too. So we had a lot in common, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was cool, man. Like, we just clicked, you know?
Yeah. You got any shaming story about him? We would like to hear
TX?
that. Yeah.
I mean, fuck, dude, like.
Tell us.
Even as a kid, he had a presence. Like, he's 17, 16, and he was already TX, you know what I mean? He's really mature for his age, you know what I mean? Like, he's a good kid, man. Like so I travel with Javi and TX a lot, you know what I mean? And I don't drink, I don't party, I don't smoke. But so every night, like Javi and TX would go out, they'd go to the club or whatever, and they'd always come back, and I snore like a motherfucker. They'd come back, and it like, you know, at 3 in the morning, I went to sleep at 12. They come back at 3 in the morning, and then like TX would kind of like wake me up, and I'd be like, he's like, hey, and he'd kind of tell me about the club and what happened. I'd be like, okay, cool, man. Like, you know, kind of checking in, you know, like just saying what's up. And then later on, I realized it because usually they come back, I'm snoring, so he's waking me up, so I stop. But he wanted to do it in a cool way, like, so he'd wake me up, and then like, you know, like kind of like Javi would be like, just throw a pillow at me, you know what I mean?
So,
but if you're talking about shaming stories, man, like I got a lot, but I can't say nothing. Yeah.
Just one, please. Please.
Fuck, man, they're hard, dude. I mean, no snitching, dude. But I'll tell you, there's like little things. Like the first time I came to Brazil, we brought shoes for him, S shoes, right? And the shoes were like a size too big, man. They were fucking too big. His, you know, like it was like boots, but he was like, fuck it, and he skated them. You know, he skated them and killed it. You know, like, yeah, we went to Praça 15, actually. We went to Praça 15 in Rio before, I mean, this is 1999, so it was a long time ago, before people skated. Dude, he fucking switched backside flip the stairs, nollie flipped the stairs, like did really good tricks, like in shoes like a full size too big, you know? He was professional even then, you know what I mean?
So you were always posting the hashtag Quasileiro.
Yeah, Quasileiro.
What's that?
You know, it's funny, man. I every time I come to Brazil, whether it's with TX or Gerdau or, you know, yeah, I've come like with many teams and I've come skating. Usually even if I'm coming with a team of Americans, I'll stay longer, I'll go earlier, you know, and I'm filming with Brazilian skaters. A lot of times I'm the only person who speaks English, you know, so it's like, I'm here and everyone's super cool, but you know, nobody speaks English. So I had to kind of learn, you know, like first you learn food, you know, like how to order food and get directions and stuff. And then I try to pick up more and more Portuguese. And I don't know if it was Gerdau or somebody, but he was like, yeah, man, you're almost Brazilian. You're like, so I was like, quasi, quasi Brasileiro. So, you know.
So when was the first time you came to Brazil?
So the first time I came to Brazil was December of 1999.
Yeah. So what would you
Before
say?
you were born. Whoever's watching this, probably before you were born.
What would you say is better down here than in the United States and vice versa?
What's better for what?
In general.
I mean,
Like-
I don't know, man. I like, I pretty much travel. I travel more than anyone I know. I'm on a plane every week, you know, like, so I get to see a lot of really cool places. I'm really lucky to experience a lot of different cultures in a lot of different places. And it's like, every place has good and bad. So I really just try to take the good out of everything. Brazil has some of the best things ever. You know what I mean? Like the food, the people, you know, people are super passionate. The women, it's way better than the United States. But then there's a lot of good things about the United States too. So it's like, it's not really a comparison. There's so many different things, you know what I mean? But I mean, would I rather be in Brazil? Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know, man. It's like the passion for skateboarding is fucking real. You know, people really, really love skateboarding. And then it's just like, I mean, it's not even just one thing. It's not like, oh, it's not like TX is my homie or whatever. It's like everyone, dude, from Jerdal, all the homies in Curitiba, Pedro here, Thiago, everyone, dude. They got a big heart and they love skateboarding. You know, I feel really free out here. Yeah, it's different, man. There's a lot of places in the world you go, it's the same. You know, whether I'm in Berlin or Paris or New York or London, there's a lot of things that are really similar. There's places like Brazil or like Japan that really feel different, and I like that a lot. The most consistent?
Yeah.
TX, for sure.
You're just saying this because
No,
you're
no.
BFFs.
No,
Yeah.
I don't even like him, dude. I don't even like him, but he's so fucking consistent. So I'm like, let's do this. No, I mean honestly, I mean the proof is you don't film with somebody for 18 years
Yeah.
if it don't work. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of homies. You got a lot of homies, but you're not filming them 18 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're saying consistent, I mean, there's eras. Mark Appleyard, one of the most amazing skaters, most consistent. Chris Cole, the dude's feet are like hands. Javier, you know, like skating, Javier Sarmiento, like he did tricks like without the camera. I mean, there's so many consistent people, but for me, my personal situation and what I've seen with my own two eyes, TX, dude.
Sao Paulo, I know. And he's at a soccer game, Rodney.
So right now I work for, I'm the New Balance brand manager for Asia Pacific, which is basically all of China, Australia, New Zealand, all of Asia, Korea,
You're not just
Middle East.
you're not the video maker.
I'm
right?
not a video maker.
Yeah.
I mean, at New Balance, I should be in the office. I should be in the office right now. But no, I take care of marketing also. So it's product and marketing. It's everything. And for me, obviously, videos is a big part of what I believe marketing is and how we can reach kids and how we can showcase what skateboarding is. But if you're asking the question is working for a brand like really the way for a videographer, for a video maker? I think it is. I mean, basically, videos as a commodity, as a product that you can sell, that's the only way that somebody can survive as an independent video maker. When that is basically not there, it's not a viable thing. You can't really make a living from selling a video. Then you have to be funded and you have to be supported by a brand, because that's the only person and the only entity that would have a budget and would be able to invest in what you need. So yeah, whether it's a shoe brand or it's I mean, a lot of people I know work for fucking like you know, an energy drink like a Red Bull or you know, Rockstar, I guess, or Monster. So yeah, that's pretty insane. So yeah, so it's a brand like that, you know, is really the only way I think you can really make a big production video. I mean, I don't want to be a walking cliche, but VX1000 was like the ultimate camera. Easy to use, looked amazing. At the time was groundbreaking HD, like what, you know, the shape, this, you know, 4:3, it's perfect for a human body, you know what I mean? Widescreen is like, it's weird, yeah, you know, so it's like everything about it wasn't just one thing. The fisheye, the Century fisheye with skateboarding. So that was like one of my favorite cameras. Right now I use a Panasonic GH5 and I love it. It's great. It's small, it's compact. I shoot photos also with it. Everything about it is really cool. I think it's a lot of things. I don't want to be really nostalgic because VX1000s suck now too. Like, they don't make them anymore. They haven't made them. They haven't serviced them for 10 years. So it's, dude, they break. You can't fix them. It's like you'll film a line, you'll be hyped. The camera eats the tape. You lose the line. There's so many things, you know. Like, I don't want to romanticize it, but if I had a brand new VX1000 that shit worked good, it would be amazing. But to be honest, like, quality-wise, your iPhone films better, you know. So
Yeah, I read it somewhere that you said that if you want a VX, you better get an iPhone and you have this app
yeah,
that does all this filter thing and
I mean, get a fisheye for your iPhone. I mean, that to me, it's like, it's better quality, more immediate, and you know, the fucking saying is like, what's the best camera? Is the cameras you have on you. So I mean, it's obvious. You watch Instagram, you see videos. That's what people are seeing. That's how people are showing and seeing skateboarding. It's just like what you have. You know what I mean? I mean, in the future, it's going to be glasses maybe, and you just record what you see, and you don't have to do nothing. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what's even better. You know?
But then to film skateboarding, you had to put your head down.
Yeah, man. Zoom in, zoom out. You know what I mean? Put on the fisheye glasses. I don't know, dude. Who the fuck knows? You know? Really? Yeah. The craziest day of my life. I don't really know how to answer that. I could tell you. I mean, I could tell you some real shit. You know what I mean? The day my dad died. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit. You know, I mean, define crazy. You know, like great, amazing days.
Good crazy.
Huh?
A good crazy day.
Good crazy.
Yeah.
Let me think, man. I mean, I'll tell you, man, one of the craziest days of my life was when I first started contributing to 411, just sending footage, you know, sending tapes and stuff, and there was nothing, no guarantee or whatever. And then I was on a phone call. I called Josh Friedberg, and I was like, hey, did you see the tapes, the tricks that I filmed? And he was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I saw that trick. You know, it's cool. It was kind of shaky. And I was like, what about that trick? Oh, I saw that trick. Yeah, it's cool, but it's a little dark, you know, and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, well, what did you see this trick? It was Kim Cardona nollie inward heel over the Brooklyn Banks wall. He's like, oh yeah, that's gonna be an opener. And that was like one of the first tricks I ever had in a video, and it was an opener. So that was a crazy day, man. I remember I was in my mom's apartment. It was probably like 8 or 9 p.m. So it was like 5 or 6 in California, and I was on the phone, and he told me I was gonna have an opener, and it was like a dream come true, man. Yeah. The Brazilian issue.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because that was a big thing down here.
Yeah,
and
yeah. So yeah, like, you know, we always talked about like theme issues. Obviously, like at that time, so 4-in-1 is like, at that time, 4-in-1 was kind of in a rut. It had been around. It's kind of the same thing. And so we started having some theme issues, and like we had a BAM issue, and it sold insane. We had like a Mikey Taylor issue. We had all these issues that had themes, and it was kind of like, okay, let's do more of this. You know, this is selling good. BAM issue sold like 5-10 times more than a regular issue. And so they're brainstorming things, and Chris Ortiz, who's the editor of 4-in-1, I was in San Francisco, he called me up, he's like, hey, we're thinking about doing a Brazilian issue, like a Brazilian themed issue. Would you be down to go for like a contest or something and stay like a week and film some stuff? And I was like, fuck, dude, I'll go and I'll stay for a month. I'll stay for 2 months, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. So we did I came down for a contest. I think it was a kicks contest in Novo Hamburgo, Perto de Porto Alegre. And I stayed for 2 months, I think. And like, I did a day in life with TX, like a checkup with Bob Burnquist. I did like a Wheels of Fortune with like Chupeta, Jardal, Gordo, a bunch of shit, like, you know, Chaos, everything, like all, like whatever I could, you know, just a good excuse to be in Brazil. And it was amazing, you know, like I was with TX a little bit. He had just come back from being hurt. We did a day in the life here in Sao Paulo, went to Curitiba, Porto Alegre, Rio, all over. It was amazing for me, you know what I mean? TX had the cover. It was really good. It was a really good representation of Brazilian skateboarding. It had people like Bob and TX who had big names, but it had pretty much the next generation, and it had people like I said, like somebody like Chupeta, who was one of the best skaters in Brazil then and now, one of my favorite skaters, but never really seen in the States. And I had kids like Rodrigo Lima, you know, that also were like new, you know, and so it had everything. And then it came out and it was the lowest selling 4-in-1 issue ever.
Fuck.
So, you know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. See, that don't matter, because to me, that's like a proud moment and something that's like really close to my heart. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, let's be honest, a BAM issue, Mikey Taylor issue, Brazilian issue is the best.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mikey, sorry, BAM. And you know what, to be honest, and the same thing we were talking about, that Brazilian issue, I didn't film it, or I didn't work on it, or Joe Kralik or Ricky Biedenbaugh or all the other guys who worked on it. It wasn't for your regular American kid. The Brazilian issue, 4-in-1, was for Brazilian skaters, was for Brazil. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's how I felt. So, you know what I mean?
E aí, Irmandade, Aracaju Family, aqui é Fabrício.
Juninho ET,
E a gente tá assistindo 411.
Brasil, paz.
Yeah.
Black Media.
One more clap?
Yeah. Thanks.
É isso. That's it.
De nada, man. De nada.